want to discuss it, you can. It's up to you. Do you want to talk about any of the abuse you had as a? We
Yeah,
touched.
that's, bro, whatever. This is open. I told you, I'm open to you.
Okay.
Whatever you want to talk about.
What kind of abuse was it? Was it just physical abuse that you?
Well, yeah, it was just physical abuse. I mean, it was in that magazine, the WWF magazine, Beneath the Skin, that Vince Russo did, and just get hit on a few points. I remember one time, we were real skinny as kids. I mean, skinny. And our father didn't allow, we weren't allowed to go in the refrigerator or touch any of the food unless they gave it to us. And it got to the point where one time, I'm the middle kid, but my brothers and sisters always looked up to me as being like the big kid. Even my oldest brothers and sisters, I was always having to go out and steal food for them, and we ate out of garbage cans, you know, our neighbors' garbage cans and stuff like that. And I remember one time, one of the situations was, my father had left. I thought he was gone. And my brother and them were hungry. I mean, we were so hungry, brother. I'm telling you, you would thought we were from Ethiopia. Our ribs were showing and everything. And there were some hot dogs in the refrigerator. So when he left, I went in there and I put 2 hot dogs on. I was boiling them so I can feed my brothers and sisters. And he came back home. I didn't hear him coming home. And he came in the door and he was like, "Who in the cooking these so-and-so hot dogs?" And nobody said nothing. I said, "I did." And he tied me down to the bed and took the boiling water and poured it on my stomach. And it was so bad, I mean, my skin came off in a circle about that big. And my skin just started bubbling up. And I remember him taking me and putting me in the bathtub full of cold water. And when he did, my skin would start peeling off and it started floating on top of the water. It was so deep, the burn was so deep until the blood fragmentations in your stomach started bleeding. That's how deep the burn was. And I remember he wouldn't take me to the hospital or anything, and I had to sit there and deal with that pain night after night. He would just take Vaseline grease, I remember, and butter and rub it on the burn, like that was supposed to, you know, stop the pain or whatever. And you had to be tough. He didn't want you to cry or anything like that. I mean, I did because, I mean, it's your stomach. And then another incident was, I remember my sister had a piggy bank, and she thought somebody stole it. She couldn't find it. And so he took all the boys, took all their clothes off, and he got a extension cord, a switch, and a belt. I mean, he beat us for hours. It was so bad, I'm exaggerating not, our actual blood and some of our skin was on the wall. I mean, it worked. And then the only beating I ever seen that came close to it, I don't know if you've seen Passion of the Christ, but that beating that they gave Christ, that's the only beating I ever seen came close to when we got. And he was beating us. I've always been the leader. I was the middle kid, but I was the one who took the blunt of everything. And I remember I told him I did it. I didn't do it. I just wanted him to stop beating my brothers. And I told him I did it. And man, he went berserk. He was like, "You mean tell me?" I remember he hit me. My dad's a big man. He was like 300-something pounds. And he hit me. I remember going down on the floor, and he took the bunk beds and flipped them over on top of me. And he beat me, man, till I passed. And I woke up, there was skin off he had hit my penis. Some skin came off my penis. I mean, I was just bloody. I mean, it was so bad. My mom had to come in at night because the stench from the blood stuff was so strong. My mom had to come in at night. I remember her turning me over on the bed, and I had to peel the sheets off my back from the blood and stuff. I mean, it was just that bad. And that's just, you know, some things we went through. He was the thing about it, he was a very intense, violent man, you know. And I can remember one time, I was in recess, and it started playing its role in our lives. And I think that was one reason why I was so good in sports, because I always had that extra edge, and which is not a compliment, by the way. I remember one time we were playing softball, and we were in middle school, elementary school, and this guy, and I'll never forget the guy's name, Ray Shanks. He was pitching, and he was mad because we were knocking, you know, home run. They hadn't got the bat yet, and recess was almost over. And he said, "I'm gonna start pitching fast now." And I said, "Well, just don't hit me with the ball." And it was my turn to bat. And he threw it, and the ball just barely touched me. I mean, barely moved a hair on my arm. But the fact I said, "Don't do it," and I run to pitch him out with the bat, man, I hit this dude in his head with that baseball bat. I mean, blood went everywhere, and it put the kid in a coma for a little while. And yeah, I can remember the coach tackling me and holding me down, and then they got me in the principal's office. And they called my dad. I'm like, oh my God, he's gonna kill me now. I mean, I'm gonna get a real bad beat now. And he was part of a motorcycle gang called the Road Knights. And you could hear them Harleys coming down the street. A mile before they get there, you hear thunder. There was like 9 of them. They came to the school. And they walked in there, and the cops were there. And the cops were so scared of the Road Knights because they didn't play. They were like the Hell Angels almost. And I remember walking there, and he was like, what in F you do now? And the principal was like, well, he hit a kid in the head with a baseball bat, and the kid's in a coma. And my dad looked at me and said, what'd you do that for? I said, because he hit me with the ball. And my dad said, oh, he hit you with the ball first? Good. Then you should have hit him in the so-and-so head. Let's go. And they took me out, man, and brought me ice cream. And, I mean, like I was the greatest person on earth because I hurt somebody. You know, and that's the kind of dad he was, you know.
What was your relationship with your mother?
You got to look at it like this. With my mother, she's dead now, but I still have a serious problem with her. I didn't, like, even when she died, for her, I couldn't cry. I didn't cry at her funeral. I still haven't cried today about her being dead. Because as a mother, I mean, even if you're scared, how could you allow someone to abuse your kid like that? If you love your kids. You know, I have my 6-year-old stays with me now. I mean, I have never had to spank her once, and I couldn't if I had to. I love her just that much. You know, I can yell at her or you know, go Ahmed Johnson on her, you know, and act like I'm going to do something real tough. But I've never hit my daughter once, and it made it even more clear when I had my own kid for me to ask that question: how could my mother not have stopped it? Mm-hmm. I mean, even if you're scared, you can't let somebody hurt your kids like that, man. If you love them. So I mean, I got that. I'm dealing with that right now. You know, mentally with my mother. I don't. Mm-hmm. You know, I love her, but I still got a problem with that.
Where's your father today?
I'm in Florida.
Do you have a relationship with him? Or?
No.
Mm-hmm.
No, we don't talk at all.